Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am Carrick, so we're continuing on as Burma. And I hesitate to say that we're in a golden age, but we're close. We're very close to a golden age. I usually consider a golden age. I guess there's multiple. One of the fun things about Victoria 3 is it does feel like these laws actually are so impactful. Hitting some of these are so impactful that it does feel like that you kind of do enter a golden age when you enact some of these things. Interventionism is kind of like a light golden age that we're about to hit when this thing passes. Getting rid of the monarchy is kind of a golden age when this passes. But really, a big golden age is when you can reform the taxation out of the land base to one of these other tax schemes. That's when you can just really like double, triple your construction rate and then things just really start zooming. I mean, it looks like things are zooming now, but things would really start zooming once we get that. Interventionism will at least cut out this issue that we have going on currently. I can't believe we're making that much in consumption taxes. Interestingly enough, if we had more coal production, we could get a lot more. Yeah, we need a lot more coal production. 75, yeah, we need a lot more because we could get a lot more services by going to gas streetlights. For 150, yeah, basically 102 coal mines worth of coal, we get 450 services, and that basically would be sort of what the demand is right now, actually. In fact, even before getting interventionism passed, it looks like we're actually somehow bringing this around. We'll probably have to expand our construction sector, to be honest. Our convoys were totally capped out on those, I bet. I can only imagine. Our trade routes, yeah, are totally capped on these. Barely productive sending out the grain. What, do we actually need this grain? Is that what's going on? This could save us some convoys, is all I'm thinking. And some bureaucracy. We don't need the bureaucracy. We're exporting coal to Dynam, which is kind of silly, to be honest. We're importing just a scooch of iron. That's kind of silly, to be honest. Although it wasn't really costing us much. I don't know. Well, I guess, I don't know. We could try to... import iron from Austria. So we have the railways now. We have the railways. Take us 4 years to get up to dynamite. That would be a big one because we're going to need those explosives. This is kind of reinforced concrete's kind of nice because it just gives your construction sector 15% more throughput. That's huge. That's huge. It's only going to take 3 years to hit this stuff, though. 10% more authority. Mutual funds. This is actually pretty strong if you lean into laissez-faire and free trade routes and stuff. Steel frame buildings, which would allow for actually moving up to the next construction mode. Which we're definitely not there yet because we're not making steel yet. 10% more prestige. I don't think that'll get us anywhere, to be honest. Yeah, we'd need to get to the next rank. We'd have to have, yeah, we're not going to be there quite yet. %, production technology cost reduction on that. Nice, more agricultural output, I guess. A little boon there. Come on, let's pass this. I mean, our legitimacy is not that bad, right? Come on. I don't understand why, like, man, it'd be really nice if a couple of these groups could kind of team up a little bit. This person's a radical. That just means that they want guaranteed liberty and protected free speech. This is oh, we got a reformer. Oh, what does this mean, actually? They actually would support cultural exclusion. And they're neutral towards women's suffrage. They would actually support compulsory primary school, which I believe the industrialists do not like normally. They normally oppose this. They're normally the one group that does oppose this. This requires human rights. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. I almost want to take advantage of that. I think if we get human rights, then we get feminism. We could get some of this stuff passed easy peasy, with the people. The fact that these people are the ones in charge of these factions right now, the radical and the reformer. Cultural exclusion, even too, which is actually like a good thing compared to where we are. It's not fully multiculturalism, but you know, it's progress. Nice. We have the interventionism. That's going to be cutting into the investment pool. Is going to do a lot of good work for us. It's at 500,000 right now, actually. There's actually going to be an election. Why is the Conservative Party getting so many votes? What's the thought process there? Is it just because of the monarchy? Where does this come from? They have 6% momentum. The Radical Party has 74% momentum. How does this make any sense? Their combined political clout party affiliation, I don't know what that means. But they barely combine to be slightly ahead of the political clout of the intelligentsia or the the Liberal Party? I thought they were part of the Radical Party. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so that's going to team. So now the Liberal Party is going to be a combination of both of these groups, and that might actually kind of change the election dynamic. But their momentum is really low. Oh, wait a second. Path to liberalism complete or something? Freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Okay, so what do we do here? The intelligentsia person who has currently high momentum as it is getting 23% of the vote. So what we could do is we could let them get more popular. Are they not popular? They're fairly popular, but not like uber popular. So they will lead us into the future, gives them more popularity. Or we could make this person a radical. The reality is the trade union peeps already support most of that stuff, if not all of that stuff. Or we could make this person a reformer, which is interesting. So this is a landowner person. So they would actually support women's suffrage, cultural exclusion, and compulsory primary school. That's actually kind of interesting. Because if they support that, we almost wouldn't even mind putting them into government. So right now they would certainly not support those things, I can only imagine. Well, they don't care about, they don't care about the compulsory, that. Do they even care about this? They don't even care about that. And what's the other thing? They would support it, right? That's still better than nothing. But they have no political power. What was the other thing that you get for reformer? Oh, they definitely would oppose women's rights. I can only imagine. Yeah, they would do. So instead of opposing this, they would support it. That's the one thing that we would get for this. I think I would rather just boost up the popularity of the intelligentsia and see if they can make a better showing in the election. You know, it's one of these things where the conservatives are going to have a plurality, but not a majority. Who is this? Liberal Party's going to lose even more momentum, or someone's going to get... Oh, the industrialist guy just has no popularity. Oof. Well, it is what it is. And the momentum just tanked anyways. 124% though for the Radical Party. I don't know. We'll have to see. It is what it is. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I mean, I guess we could add them all to government and get stuff done that way, but... Oh, we're not passing anything. Let's actually try to pass something here. We've got universal suffrage. That might cause a revolt. That really would be the big thing to try to do, though. Getting rid of the church and state would definitely minimize the clergy quite a bit. We know that updating our tax policy would be huge. Interesting that the trade unions don't support this. They support this, but they don't support this, huh? This seems that proportional taxation would be better than per capita taxation. Oh yeah, the trade unions oppose per capita taxation. Okay. To me, it makes sense that they would support this, but yeah. I mean, the trade unions support this, but they don't support this. I don't know. It's just weird. Anyways. So adding the petit bourgeois with are they in the conservative? Yeah. So we're probably going to be adding these guys to government, to be honest. We're going to be adding these folks to government, it looks like. Let's just get rid of this church and... let's get rid of church and state. What is this? Oh, that's because we're making... That's right, we're making so much. From the investment pools kicking in. That's not going to be like that forever because it will drain out eventually. Nice, 40% chance to pass rather than getting momentum for the elections. We don't care about momentum for the elections that much. Whoa! Cyclone and Pegu. %10 devastation, 5 years. We're making a lot of money. There's a chance that a famine will occur in the upcoming months. No, we're going to reduce devastation. In fact, isn't there a decree that we could do for emergency relief? Let's see if that actually helps too. Hopefully this will avoid famine. More iron, more coal. More coal, more iron, more tools, more clothing, more furniture. Oh, we've hit our infrastructure issue. Wait a second, railways. Railways are the ways that you increase infrastructure kind of typically. It uses coal and engines. Engines require steel. I think now is the time. This will produce, for the cost of iron and coal, this will produce 65 steel. This will use 30 steel to make 40 engines. What do we do with the rest of that steel? We could use it to make tools. How much, actually here, yeah, let's cancel out that tool production. Because we could actually, what we could do is we could move to steel tools. Which would be a huge... It's probably going to take a lot of steel. It's going to use 160 steel. Yikes. It's going to use a lot less iron. So it's going to kind of like... Okay. One steel thing in here. One motor industries here. Already making a lot more coal, but we might need a lot more coal. Then with that motor industries, we're going to quickly use those motors that we're creating to make rails everywhere, I think. And that'll make the motor industry profitable, but then we'll have extra steel lying around so that we'll need more steel, more coal, and we have additional means of steel, and then we should use that steel then to make more tools, and then that'll kind of that'll feed on itself, and then we'll have a lot more tools. So legitimacy should be at an all-time high right now. 71, nice. Oh, Buddhist moralist. Interesting. Oh, well, that's all the same stuff that even the Catholic moralist would probably support. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but there's like sort of flavorful language there, but I'm not sure if there's really any difference there between like if you were playing France and the way the clergy would have their thing. Yeah, this is good. This is good. 71% loyalty. This is good. Let's get rid of the church and state. That'll marginalize the monks, presumably. A standard of living of 16.7. Top 10 in the world. In the world. GDP is on the rise. 17 in the world. 24th in the world for GDP per capita, which is certainly not great. We got a lot of people that don't have jobs yet. We got a lot of people that don't have jobs yet. We're well aware of that. Separation of church and state is a go. Is a go. We need feminism before we can actually pass women's suffrage, which will be big. And the fact that we haven't got this monarchy done is just driving me crazy. This is killing us. This is killing us. It's really, I guess it's really not at this point, but it is still like it's really not actually that big of a deal, is it? Protectionism could be huge. Interesting that the industrialists will oppose this, and so will the landowners, but not enough to radicalize. Only 10%? That seems really kind of... This would give us just huge amounts of money, but honestly, I like the idea of moving off of this here. 10% though, that's not great. And then we keep talking about how are we going to do this, or are we not going to do this? Road folk are the only ones that would get upset by this. You know, it's time to do this. It's time to get the colonial activity going. It's going to cost us quite a bit of money. How much paper are we making or not making? See, we're trading out 400 units of paper, and what the heck? Come on. -4 infrastructure for Burma? That's not good. That is not good. Authorities at an all-time low. That emergency relief thing, I don't know if that... Sometimes that does matter, but in this case, I'm not sure if that actually is doing anything. I don't really want to get rid of these because we really have specialized these regions. What else are we... Okay, well, we're about to start pulling off consumption taxes, it looks like. Huh. How do we get just a little bit more authority? Just a scooch here. This looks bad, but I think when a couple of these laws pass, I think we'll be doing great. Minus 25% authority. 25 times the 600 and... Which group is it that gives... Yeah, actually, it's this church that's now officially marginalized with that last change, which is great to see. You know what would be nice is if the government could, like, readjust itself. You know what I mean? But it's still landowner, landowner, landowner. It's crazy. I mean, the monks are marginalized, the landowners don't matter, and the petite bourgeois wouldn't even be that upset by this. I feel like, man, if we could do something that the petite bourgeois would actually like, I feel like we could probably go and pass. Like, they would like this. Most folks would like that, it looks like. So we have this, and I think what we can actually... Oh, Great Britain actually colonized this, but they haven't colonized this. Hold on. Oh my, man, how much trading do we have with Poland and such? Saying that's unproductive. What do we got here? We got, that's pointless. This is local. We're importing a bunch of chairs. England is something separate. Actually, yeah. We can come back, but I don't think we're actually doing much with Poland right now. I think we're actually going to do this. And then what we're going to do is once this changes, there's going to be a little bit, we're going to be suffering here for a quick second here, but I think we can, this will, Pegu is really the least of the infrastructure that we need. We need Burma. I'll put Burma at the top here. Because it's like, really, it's no point. It's weird because if we build the railroad, it's going to be very expensive if we don't have motor industry. But if we build the motor industry, it's not going to do anything until we have the railroad, right? So it's like one of these sort of catch, and same with the steel, right? We build the steel first, but it's not going to do anything if we don't have the motor industry. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. We need to figure out something to pass. That's right. It's only 11%. You know, we got 32% of people want to pass this, so we could get a huge amount of this. This will send us into a golden age. Even the petite bourgeois support this. Yeah, so this is actually, that's the answer. We go for proportional taxation. That's going to be huge. It's going to be an easy pass. It's going to make us not have any money issues for the rest of the game, basically, and we can really actually ramp up a lot of things. So now that we're going to start a colony down here, and you'll notice it should just kind of auto-complete. It's a little bit of a weird bug, but it literally just auto-completes, and we can, that's it. We have it. So now we should have a permanent interest down here, so that we can come back to Prussia and do that if we so choose. And then we can have a colony going here. Unfortunately, England ended up doing all of this. That wasn't part of the plan to have England take all of South New Zealand, where I'm sure there's probably gold here. Oh, well, there's a potential for gold to be discovered down here, I believe. Setting up an interest group down here and working down here could make sense. So we don't need an interest group to maintain this colony, which is nice. That'll be just a little bit of growth of resource access, I guess, as you could say, as we let that just kind of go. If we had another interest group, we could actually maybe be colonizing in South America as well. United States is completely blocked off the entire... And France isn't even doing that good of a job. The heck? France has got the highest... It's not very impressive GDP, to be honest. Don't they start? I guess they don't start at 191, but that doesn't seem that impressive. United States is 64 million? It seems very low. Seems very low. But they're the ones down here colonizing Africa, it looks like. Usually France, like, very quickly sort of just dominates that whole area in a goofy way. You know, decades before France actually, before the actual scramble for Africa. Because this game just lets people just, I don't know, the game is weird. So we've got that rail. Once we get all these rails put down and get that whole industry going, everything's gonna sing, I think. So there we go. We're now making tons of money. Technically, we don't really even need consumption taxes anymore because we're just making so much on everything. Let's build more construction sectors, especially now that Burma has. Yeah, I'm tempted to go up to 3. I mean, I think we literally can just make this much money. And then I think the rest of this added income, I think is probably going to be used to get more universities, modernize our military. Actually, how are they doing down here? I don't think they've actually changed their military at all down here. They've expanded it a bit, but they haven't modernized it. We could come and beat up Siam if we wanted to. I think I don't see any reason why we couldn't. To be honest. Well, this area is isolated until we build a port here. But this does give us access to more ports, which is kind of nice. There's not enough people to support that one, actually, to be fair, but basically everyone that lives at the North Island will just work in the port. I don't think the fact that they're isolated even really matters too much. Low market access here. That's because of infrastructure, most likely. Yep. So we're building the rails there, right? So that'll fix that. Bureaucracy shortfall. Well, it doesn't look like it to me, but I see what they're saying. That it's trending downwards as we add these institutions. It's trending downwards. So, and all of our government buildings are already set on standardized filing system. Looks like it. So we might actually build more government buildings as well, just 1 or 2. Let's double check the taxation capacity everywhere just to make sure it's more than enough. Yeah, it's plenty everywhere. So it doesn't really matter where we build the government administrative buildings. I mean, places that have infrastructure, everywhere is going to have infrastructure. Once these rails come in. Let's get feminism as well, because I think it's only going to take 2 years. And it's going to let us move into the full, in just one fell swoop, we'll be able to just swoop down here and add women's suffrage without having to do like one step at a time. Yeah, that'll be nice. Wait, what did we just pass? And what did we just pass? Anyways, we passed. I guess we didn't have anything running there for a second. We were so excited that we got a couple of the really big things done. So if we did this, I mean, the petite bourgeois, see, when I look at this personally, when I see this, I don't really feel like this would propel a revolution. The landowners at 5.7%. The petite bourgeois wouldn't even be radicalized. And the monks are actually marginalized, right? So I think if we wanted to get rid of... It's interesting that really like the petite bourgeois doesn't even necessarily oppose this, but in all honesty, this would crush the petite bourgeois moving out of this. The tricky thing about free trade is it removes tariff income. And we're kind of benefiting from tariffs, right? We're making 15,000 in tariffs. This kind of bolsters that, I think, a bit. It actually says we'd lose almost like a tiny amount of money doing this, but like literally pennies. So only 10% there, whereas we have a 37% chance to just get rid of that. And I think if we got rid of this would increase I think overall this would increase legitimacy, and it would continue to depower the landowners. In fact, the landowners would be marginalized almost doing this. And I'm trying to think if there'd be much reason to even have them in government. And them not being in government, I think, would accelerate the progress on everything else. There's a lot of stuff we want to pass. We want to pass this. I think we have it even a public education, for crying out loud. Look at this. Industrialists support that, of course. Industrialists would support this. There's so much opportunity right now because of the dynamic of the country. It's like, do we care to try to do this right now? I really do think this is a thorn in our side that we can't even fully detect right now. It seems like everything's hunky-dory, but I want to do this because, man, the petite bourgeois, 15%, it's going to be climbing. But the fact that the industrialists support this right now is kind of a big deal. There's no point doing that until we actually get the public schools themselves. The public schools will let us start on that. Yeah, 53% to get this. This is too big not to pass. Too big not to just get it done and get working on that. And then that'll actually make it so these government admin buildings will that administrative bureaucracy that we're going to get is going to go to good use. Guys, thanks everybody for being here for this episode. I think we're making good money. We have 50 construction. Our GDP is, it's doubled just in the last episode, let alone, it's up like 10 times what it was when we started. We're only about 30 years into the game. We're now in a political situation where we can just sort of pass things like rapid fire, right? And once we pass there's like 67 things that if we passed, we would just be like set. Like the country would be like, literally, there's just like I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 things that if we passed, we'd be good to go. Like we'd be like just sailing into the future. Get our literacy and our education is something that's really been suffering. We've been building the universities, but we actually needed to get schooling sooner, I think. So we're working on that now. Anyways, guys, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. I read every comment and I answer every question. So if you have any of those or feedback, throw them down in the section down below. And there you go. Thanks everybody for being here. I'll see you guys in the next episode.